Hello, everyone. Okay, I see we are live now. Hello, this is Jonna Jinton from Sweden. So where are you from, everyone? Wow, so many people. I'm so happy that you are here with me and joining me on this. I'm very excited to team up with Adobe to show you how I edit my photos. And yeah, I think we are going to get started. I see a lot of people are online now. Welcome. So I am going to show you guys how I edit my photos. So I have chosen 4 photos that are among my most popular photos, and to show you how I edit them step by step. And you are going to be able to ask questions along the way, and I will hopefully answer them as good as I can. And so yeah, this is a very interactive thing, so I hope you want to follow along and comment and ask questions. And Adobe is giving away a 12-month subscription on Adobe Creative Cloud, and I get to pick the winner. So I'm going to choose one person who asks the most interesting question, and then you will win a 12-month subscription on Adobe Creative Cloud. So yeah, just ask questions. And yeah, this editing is going to be about 1 hour. And after the editing, I will switch to camera mode again, and I will have some questions and answers and chat with you a little. Okay, but before we start, I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about myself. So my name is Jonna Jinton, and I'm from Sweden, and I started with photography about 6 years ago. I used to live in Gothenburg, one of the biggest cities in Sweden, but then I moved 1,000 kilometers to the north to live a life very close to nature. So I moved with my dog and just lived a very simple life in a little house in a village with 9 inhabitants. And from the first day I moved here, I just got so much inspiration, and I just started taking photos every single day, and I started a blog, and then I started to have an Instagram account, and I just see all your sweet comments here. And yeah, so that's kind of how it started, and I've just keep going for 6 years or so. And my biggest dream was to be able to make a living on my photography and my art and everything. And it's been a long journey. It's been really challenging, and sometimes I almost gave up. But about 1 year ago, just everything happened. It's been an amazing year, and now I'm here teaming up with Adobe, and I'm so thankful and so happy. And yeah, especially because Photoshop and Lightroom has been one of my most important tools in my editing, in my photography. So yeah, are you ready to see how I edit some photos? I am. I have a big cup of coffee here, and that's a must when I edit. And thank you, everyone. I see you're following me here. I have another screen here to the right, so I can see what you write. Okay, I see you're ready. That's good. And thank you. I see some questions too. All right, I am. I'm going to start editing now, so I'm going to share my screen, and after the editing, I will switch back to this camera mode. Okay, let's go. This now. I'm just gonna. Can you see my screen? I hope. I'm just gonna make it in full screen. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so this is the photos that I'm gonna show you how I edit today. Oh, thank you. Everyone is like, yes, I can see. Thank you. Uh, this is so fun. Okay, I'm just gonna show you a little quickly around the photos I'm gonna show you. Okay, so this photo is actually my most popular photo on Instagram. This is how I looked before editing, and this is how he looked after. It's very, very simple to edit this one, so I'm gonna start with this one actually. And the next photo I will show you is this one, and I will edit it to be a little bit more magical to this, you know, a bit more fairy tale style with soft light and, you know, the feeling that you're deep in the woods. And this, I will edit this one in Lightroom, and then I will show you how I edit from this to this. And so this one is used with different layers. I will start with editing this in Lightroom, and then I will jump to Photoshop to show you how I made the Northern Lights. And it's very simple, actually. Okay, and the last photo is a little bit more complicated, but it's not hard. So I will show you. I'm gonna start with this photo and make it into a very dreamy double exposure photo. So it's gonna look like that. So yeah, this is the photos I'm gonna edit with you today. Oh, thank you for all your comments. So, okay, I'm gonna start with this one. I will go in here, because this one is very simple actually. I'm gonna go into develop. So, I don't know, I guess some of you maybe are like super professional at Lightroom, and some of you maybe have never seen it before. But I'm gonna try to make it so that all of you can understand. Okay, I'm glad you like my choice of pictures. That makes me happy. It was actually a bit hard to choose because I have thousands of pictures, but I wanted to take some different so I could show you some different types of editing. Okay, so this one is a bit dark. I took this picture now in December. It was very cold outside and it was actually moonlight. Even though it might almost look like it's sun, but I had a pretty long exposure time. Well, it wasn't long, it was like 1 or 2 seconds. So I'm just gonna start to brighten up this a little bit so you can see a little bit clearer. I always start with brightening up the shadows, so then you can see more of the trees around. And I'm just gonna put up the exposure too. And I always take my photos in RAW, in the RAW format, because I saw someone ask that, and that's because it's so much easier to fix later. Like this one, it was a very dark picture, but you can see if I just do this, you can make it really light, and that's amazing actually. But I won't just make it too bright because I still want it to look like night. And okay, almost like that. And yeah, actually, when I took this picture, it was so cold, and I put up the camera and I found this place, and I just got the idea that I would stand there with the lantern. So I had brought the dress in a bag, so I had to change clothes outside, and I just did it really quick. And I took many photos, a bunch of photos when I stood here. So I was really cold before I was done. But many times when I take photos like this, I almost don't feel the cold really until after, because I'm so excited. Okay, so as you see now, it's a little bit lighter around, but now my face is a bit too light, I think. So I'm just gonna take the highlights and drop it down a little bit. And as you see, I had a pretty high ISO when I took this photo. As you can see, it's a bit noisy. I didn't want that, but I really had to because I couldn't stand so still because it was pretty dark outside. So I had to have long exposure, and then I had to like hold my breath to really stand super still so it wouldn't be like all blurry. So that's why I had to make the ISO much higher on the cameras, but it's okay, I think. I'm gonna fix that a little bit later. Okay, so it's a little bit brighter now, and as you can see, the edges is a bit darker. It's the vignette, I think. So I'm just gonna scroll down here, where it says vignetting. It's a hard word. Okay, so I'm just gonna drag it like that, lightening it up a little bit. Some of you might like when it's a bit dark, actually, because it can look more mystical, but I really like the stars and the forest and so I want that to show. Oh, so many questions here. I just want to tell you that if I can't answer your question now, I will answer it a bit later. Oh, and I got a really good question here. See, how do you focus? When you take your self-portraits. Okay. When to make a good focus, I actually, on this photo, I put the lamp on the ground before, so I just focused on the lantern, and then I just went and stood there on that place where I had the lamp. And that's almost how I do every time I take photos of myself, because I take a lot of self-portraits in the nature. That's kind of my style. So I just focus on a stone or a twig or something on the ground where I know I'm going to stand. That's mostly how I do, actually. Because I don't really use autofocus so much, because then you can take 100 photos Okay. Say till. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me now? I'm so sorry that I don't know what happened really. Thank you for waiting on me. So I'm so glad you did that. Okay, I don't know what happened. This is live, so anything can happen, and I guess that's the fun thing about it. I have no idea where I was. Oh, everybody's like, welcome back. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna continue with photo. I have no idea because I was talking a lot when this cut off, so I don't really know where I was. But okay, I'm almost done with this picture, so we can go to the next one. I'm just gonna, if you see this, it's a bit noisy, so I'm just gonna go here to noise reduction. It's a really good tool if you have had a very high ISO. You can see on this zoomed here that if I just put it up a little bit, not too much, I will get a very softening. So the noise will disappear. Well, I don't want to add too much because then it will be all like blurry almost. And thank you again for waiting on me when I got lost here. Okay, I'm just gonna put that one down a little bit. Okay, now I just want to see how it looked before. This is how it looked before I fixed it, and this is how it looks now. Maybe some of you think that it looks really good when it was dark, but I definitely think it's a bit more magic now when it is lighter, because then you can see the trees and so. And okay, I'm just gonna show you a tool that I really love about Lightroom before I step to another photo. So often when I take photos, of course, I take like 100,000 photos. No, not that much. But, you know, when I'm out like this place, I take many photos in the same style. And sometimes I want to edit them all. And a really good tool to edit them quick is to go to this photo that I did first, and then I go to the next photo I want to edit in the same style, and then I click on this button that says previous, and it skärmen blev en huvudskärm. Är jag live igen nu? Okej. Hello! Okay. Okay, I'm live again, I see. I'm so sorry for this, and I have no idea what happened. So, okay, I will. I don't know where I lost you. Okay, I stopped at the previous tool. Okay, good. So I'm just gonna put. I'm sorry, I just had to fix something here. I lost the control panel here, so okay. I'm just gonna quickly do. I just had to. Okay, now I'm back. Sorry, I don't know why this happens. Okay, I was on the previous thing too. I'm just gonna show you again if you missed that. I'm gonna click reset on that picture. Okay, so if you have taken many photos in the same style, and you want to edit them all very quickly, just go to the photo that you have edited, and then you go to the photos that you want to edit in the same style, and you click on this button, previous, and magic will happen. Someone asked me, what program do you use for editing your photos? Well, this is Lightroom, and then I use Photoshop, and I'm going to show you some Photoshop later. Okay, so I think we're done with this one. I'm going to go back to... can you still see me and hear me? I'm a bit nervous now that something will happen again. We'll check your... Okay, good. Thank you. Oh, I get so many good questions. Now I will take this picture here. And okay, someone is asking, how do you manage to shoot in winter when it's below -20 degrees, so the fingers are freezing and can't press camera buttons? That's a really good question, because that happens to me so many times. Well, I have no good advice, actually. I can feel you. I just try to have really good gloves and to take photos, and then I take like breaks when I move a lot and running around, and then I go back to taking photos. It's really important to keep warm, because I've really learned the hard way. Okay, so now I'm gonna edit this one and make it look more like fairy tale, greenish, warm, soft and light. And it's actually pretty simple, and I'm just gonna... Where is my photos here? Oh, I go back to library. I'm just gonna use the tools here in Lightroom to create that effect. So I'm gonna go into develop. Someone asks me how I take the photos on myself, and I use a remote, it's called, and it's like, maybe some of you know what a remote is, but it's like a little det är någonting jag måste... Okej, vad bra. Men du... Okay, sorry, I was talking with my... Okay, I'm back again, and still I have no idea what is happening. Okay, I was talking about how to take photos on myself, and I use a remote. So, oh, again, thank you so much for waiting on me. You are amazing. You know, I have no idea if this is the internet in the middle of the woods or why this is lagging so much, but I will keep going and I will see how long I can do this. And I'm really thankful that you're still here. Okay, so the remote control I use, and it has like 100 meters, so I can run around in 100 meters from the camera, and then I can take photos of myself, and that is really my most important tool, because as I said, I take a lot of photos of myself because, well, to me it's like I love to see photos with the human and nature together. So that's why I do that. I've done that since I started photography, and I love to take photos on only nature as well. But I always like to see human and nature in connection, kind of, because it tells you a story. Yes, you can autofocus with the remote, so that's really good, but I almost never really use that. I can tell you the name of the remote later, so because I don't have it here. Oh, so many good questions. Okay, I will just get started with this one to make it a bit more nice, warm light here. So I will go to the temperature, and I will just make it more warm. Maybe like that. And let's put it down a little bit. Somebody asked me, what lighting is your favorite to take photos in? How do you find the perfect lighting? Well, this one was taken early in the morning, actually in October, so I was really cold when I took this one too. But I love to take photos early in the morning or late in the evening when it's sunset, or in the night. So I almost never really take photos in the middle of the day if I want it to be, this beautiful light. So I'm always up very early to take photos. Okay, I'm gonna put the exposure up pretty much on this one, and you're gonna feel like it is too much right now, but it's gonna be better later. I do this to make the light more glowing. I'm gonna add the contrast pretty much too, maybe around 50. Are you still with me? I hope so. Okay. And I'm gonna drag the highlights down a little bit. Okay, good. Someone asked me if I ever considered a histogram when I edit, and no, actually, well, I'm gonna be really honest with you guys, and when I first got this question about having this Adobe seminar, I was like, no, that's a mistake, because I'm not good at Photoshop or Lightroom, even though I use it every day. But I don't have any education in it, or I'm not so. There's still much I have to learn. But then I thought that maybe that's good, because maybe that's inspiring, that you can actually learn through just playing around, because that's I've learned. So no, I don't look at the histogram so much, but I've learned a little about it, and I definitely think it can be a good guide, but still I know too little. So okay, where are we? So I just really like to look at your comments. It's really good to have a communication with you. I'm going to drag down the whites a little bit, because as you see, if I drag it up, it's very, very light. So maybe among there. Someone asked if Lightroom costs a lot. No, actually, all of you who reserved a spot here has a free trial to both Lightroom and Photoshop. You have the link in the mail that you got sent to you. So you should check it out and try it yourself. So you have a free trial. And also, one of you here who asks questions are going to win a 12-month subscription on Adobe Creative Cloud. So I'm going to pick a winner at the end. All right, and I'm going to turn down the blacks here, maybe. Actually, when I do this, I mostly just play around. Now I want it to be more black because I want the trees to appear better. So maybe have around 50. Actually, I'm going to put this in, sorry, I'm going to put this in full screen so maybe you can see it, because I know some of you might not see. Oh, I get so many good questions here. I want to answer them, but also I have some editing to do. But I will answer a lot of questions later too. Okay, so this clarity, I love this button. Because if you see, if I put it up, it's getting really hard. And if I put it down, it's getting very glowy. And in this picture, I want the glow light. Often when I take photos on the night sky, I put the clarity up to make the stars really pop. But in this photo, especially when I take photos in the forest with sunlight, I want it to be more, you know, soft light and glowy feeling. So I'm going to put it down to maybe -17 something. And now I'm going to put the vibrance up a bit. It makes the photo very vibrant. And I'm going to put it up a lot. Maybe it will look too much, but it's later, or I'll put it down later if so. And the saturation. Someone asked what camera I use. I'm just going to tell you that I use a Nikon 810. So it's a really good camera. Oops. Okay. Now I've done that. Now you might think that this picture looks very, you know, colorish. It's not so beautiful, but it's going to be better soon. Okay, I'm gonna put the highlights down because it's very, maybe to -30 something, because it's very light. And I just want to tell you that you can play around with this just as much as you want. I've learned only by playing around, just as I told you, just trying all these buttons, and maybe I will put down the darks a little bit to make this deep feeling, you know. I like to make the photos very light, but it's also important to have parts in the pictures that are very dark, I think. Oh, I'm so glad it still works. Okay, maybe like that. And then I'm gonna go to yellow, because there's a lot of yellow in this photo. And I'm just gonna bring it up a little bit. If I do that, it will get really red. So if I go up like that, maybe. No, not that much. And then, okay, I'm gonna put the saturation up a little bit more. Someone asked me if I ever put up a picture on my Facebook or Instagram without editing at all. And I have to be honest to say no. Every single photo, even my daily pictures on my blog, I edit. But then I edit only like contrast, white balance, and stuff like that. And also I make the sizes for my blog. through Photoshop. I mean, I cut it down a little bit to make it smaller. So all my photos I edit, but not all my photos I edit this much. I only, my special photos where I want to create more magic, I edit a lot. So it's great tools. Okay, now we're coming to highlights. Oh, it's so nice to see your comments here. Thank you for watching me, and thank you for staying, even though we had a little bit of trouble. But I think it works fine now. Okay, I'm just gonna change this highlight, maybe making it a little bit warmer, like that. As I said, it might look very much like very strong color right now, but I'm gonna put it down later. Oh, I wish I could answer your questions at the same time as I edit, but it's really hard. Okay, the shadows, I'm just gonna make it pretty much there. Maybe like there. Someone asked me, how much time do you put on editing your photos? And oh, it's so different. Sometimes I just put 1 minute editing, and sometimes I can sit for hours. And so it's definitely depends on the picture. Okay, sharpening. I want to make this a little bit more. If you look at the details here, you're gonna see that it's gonna be more sharp if I put it like that. I want some more sharpening to this picture. Well, not that one. I will use this one as well. And then I'm gonna put up the noise reduction. Someone asks me if I'm gonna use Photoshop as well, and yes, I will show you Photoshop the next photo. I will edit. That's gonna be fun because I'm gonna show you how to make a northern lights on a picture that isn't there. Okay, the noise reduction, I'm gonna put up pretty much on this picture because I really want this to be very soft. So you can see maybe, okay. If I zoom in a little bit, maybe it might take a little time before it loads. Because if I don't have noise reduction, it's going to be more sharp, or let's say. But I want this to look like almost like a painting. And the noise reduction can be really, really good. Okay, in the detail. Wow, again, your questions are so good. I'm going to have a really hard time choosing a winner later. Okay. Now I think I'm gonna zoom out again. So, photo, maybe I've been just adding a little bit darkness around the corners because that makes it looks like it's a dark forest. I want it to be like darker around so the light will really shine. And I'll just go down here, skip all these things. I'm gonna go right into what. Okay, this one, this button, dehaze. I love this one. I'm just gonna wait to use it though. But as you see, you can really create this glowing light with it. But I'm gonna keep it 0 right now. And now I'm gonna put down this one, the red primary color, a little bit to get away with that very red. Maybe like that. And like that. Yeah, I promise I will answer your questions a little bit later when I get time. Okay, now I will use this dehaze button that is just amazing. Someone asked me, if you're a beginner, would I suggest you to use Photoshop or Lightroom? And I would just suggest you to use, well, both actually, because you can do different things, but definitely Lightroom, I think, because you have all these buttons at one place, which is really good. Oh, that was a little bit too much. Okay, maybe like that. Okay, I will scroll up again. I guess it might look a little bit different on your screens than mine, because it can be a big difference, but I think we're getting there now. I'm gonna use this adjustment brush again, where you can just edit specific areas. So I'm gonna brush it on myself here and a little bit there. Oops. So then I can like darken it down or lighten up. And I'm gonna lighten it up a little so it looks like a little bit of magic happening. Okay, like that. Done. And then maybe just a little bit more contrast there. And down with the highlights, because it was really... All right, I think maybe I would upload this one on Instagram. I mean, you can keep doing these things for so long, and I can really lose track of time because you can stay in just tiny details. But I'm going to show you the difference now, how it was in the beginning. That's how it looked like in the beginning, and then it looks like that now. So it's a bit more of a fairy tale photo. And someone asked me now if I have any idea of the picture I want to take and if I find a special place for it, or do you first see the place and then have an idea about the picture? Well, that's a good question, because it depends. Sometimes I see a place and I just feel like, wow, that can be a great picture there. And sometimes I already have in mind what I want to take, and then I find a good place for it. So it's totally different. But most of the times I just bring some dresses in a bag and I go out in the forest in early morning, and I just go around and I have no specific idea. And I just kind of search for light, because light is my biggest inspiration, light through the trees, or beautiful morning light, or when it's fog or something like that. So what do you think? Do you do you think it's okay from there? Here it looks a bit more cold, and there it looks a bit more warm. Thank you. Okay, great. I see you're still there too as well. That's really good. I'm really happy. Okay, now I'm gonna show you another photo. I'm gonna go back into library just to show you. Thank you so much for your comments. I'm glad you like it. Someone asked if I have ever gotten lost when I'm out in the forest. Well, no, not when I've been out with my camera, but I got lost 2 times when I've been out picking berries. But that has nothing to do with this, I guess. Okay. Thank you. I'm really glad you liked that photo. Okay, now we're gonna go to this one. And I'm gonna show how to edit it to this one. And for this photo, I'm gonna use both Lightroom and Photoshop, because in Photoshop you can play with layers. And since there was no northern lights in this photo before, and it is now, I use layers in Photoshop. But first I'm going to edit this in Lightroom. So I'm gonna go here and click on develop. Do you say develop? All right. Okay, let's get started with this one. As you see, it's a bit dark now. It's not as lightened up as the other one. And actually, this is from the middle of the night. It's full moon outside, and I love to take photos when it's full moon, because then if you use long exposures, as I did here, you can make it look like it's a day photo. You can actually see the full moon here in the middle of the trees. So this was a really, really beautiful winter day the other year. I love when it become frosty trees like this, and it only happens when it has been really cold for a long, long time. So I'm just gonna start by brightening it up a little bit. And as you see, the corners of the pictures are really dark, and it doesn't look good on this picture. Okay, I'm going to get down to vignetting. I still don't know how you say that word in English. Vignetting. Okay, I hope you understand. Okay, I'm gonna put it up a little bit like that, and the midpoint a little bit. All right. Do you see it all changed a lot? And the corners there I'm going to fix in Photoshop. So I'm going to put up the shadows a little bit. And yeah, I really want to... Okay, vignetting, someone said it's pronounced. Thank you so much. Someone asked a really good question here. How do you deal with focusing in the dark at night? Do you ever have trouble, and how do you resolve it? Well, that's a good question also, because that's a big problem I have sometimes if I want to focus, for example, on a tree or something, and it's totally dark so the camera can't find it. I use sometimes... I bring a little lamp, a very strong one, to light on the things I want to focus on. Or sometimes I find something else in almost the same distance. Maybe it can be a house or something that has a point where I can focus. So you just have to use your imagination or fantasy to just find something. I don't know, maybe you have a good advice. Maybe we can learn from each other here. Okay. Okay, like that. I would just add a little bit more contrast maybe. So I wanted to make this photo look like it's almost in the day, or in the middle of the day, or in middle of the night, something in between maybe. Okay, so I don't think I will fix that much more. Just gonna look at the color temperature here. Maybe I just gonna do a little bit like that. Maybe I'm gonna add some more clarity too, to make the trees pop out a little bit. All right. I see you also have problems with shooting at night to find the focus. And a sharp LED light, someone said, is a good choice. So yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm gonna put this one in Photoshop now. So I'm gonna do this. Edit in Adobe Photoshop Creative Cloud. And we will see. Okay, Photoshop is opening. It takes a little time. Someone asks here, did you decide to add the Northern Lights because it was but could not photograph, or was it an idea that just came? Well, this photo is the first one I've ever done that with, to put in a Northern Lights in another photo, because I'm not faking all of my Northern Lights photos like that. It was something I just came up with when I looked at this picture, and I was like, it would be really good if there was like a Northern Lights at the end of the road. So I just played around in Photoshop to do that. Okay, I'm just gonna float all in Windows to. So now we are in Photoshop, and I'm gonna open this picture, Northern Lights, that I took, I think, some years ago. And I have already edited this one another time, so yeah, I'm just gonna keep it like that. Someone asked if I listen to music too when I edit. If so, which music? Well, I mostly love to listen to instrumental music, like classic music and chill music. so to get inspiration. Okay, I hope you can see this one. I'm gonna try to make it as big as possible. So now I'm gonna put this Northern Lights into the other picture. So I'm just gonna click on select and all. So it selects all the picture, and then I'm gonna, I have a Mac, so I'm gonna to copy it, and then I'm gonna go back to this picture, and then I'm gonna put it in there. Yes. Okay, so it looks terrible right now, but we're gonna fix that, right? I'm gonna find a good, maybe like that. Okay, so this photo I took of the Northern Lights in my village. It's actually almost the same place. both these pictures are taken at almost the same place, which is kind of funny. But yeah, all right. So now we have 2 layers here, and when you have put a picture on the top of another one, you can go to this place here. You see under layers, and then you can just try which one you should choose. Multiply often works very good, but not in this case, as you see. It blends the pictures, but it doesn't blend in a good way. That would be good for this picture I will do. Soft light is also something that often works good, but not for this one. And not hard light, but we're gonna try screen for this one. And that one will fit better because it will look more naturally. Okay. Oh, someone said Ludovico Einaudi. Yes, I love to listen to Ludovico Einaudi. It's perfect editing music, really. Just piano music. So that's good. All right, now we have the Northern Lights here. I'm going to make the picture bigger so you can see more clear. I hope you can see this well. Oh, okay. So we actually have a lot of Northern Lights here where I live. So I can just step outside my door because we don't have any street lights here, so it's very, very dark. And so often when I go out, I can see if it's gonna be Northern Lights or not. So I just have my camera equipment ready. I've spent so many nights under the sky just taking photos of the Northern Lights. Okay, but now before I start doing anything, I'm gonna click under Erase tool here, because as you can see the houses and the trees, and that just doesn't look good. So I'm gonna take the eraser tool, and I think this is a good size to start with, and I'm gonna take the opacity up a little bit. If you have 100% opacity, it's gonna erase 100%. So I don't want that, because I want it to be really, I want to be really careful. I'm just gonna do it a little bit. I really want it to look natural, so I don't want to take away. I just want to take away the parts that should not be here. If I have any advices on photography in the Northern Lights, yes, I have some advice. Well, most of the time I don't think so much. I get my camera and then I just try what shutter speed I should use. It totally depends if it's like moonlight outside or if the sky. I prefer to take photos of the Northern Lights when it's a little bit of moonlight. I usually have a long shutter speed, maybe among 10 to maybe 20 seconds something. And now I forgot what it's called in English. The F. What do you say? The F should be really low. I have a really good lens which I use, which is 1.8 f. I'm sorry, I forgot the English word. And well, maybe I can answer that later. Okay, so this is going a bit slow. Aperture. Okay, thank you so much. F. Yes, you're great. I have really low aperture. Oh, it's so cute that you guys help me with my English. Thank you so much. Okay, now I have taken away almost all of these here. I'm just slow because I wanted to. Someone asked me if I would like to travel around in other countries to take photos and capture magic. Yes, definitely. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna erase that. Yes, I would love that. I've traveled a little. I was in Yosemite in last year, and that was amazing. So I really love to travel and to find beautiful places. I love nature, so anything that has a beautiful nature, I would love to see. Iceland is a dream of mine. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, my. Okay, wait. It was loading a little bit here. I'm gonna try to get back to that. Okay, I'm gonna put that one down. Oops. All right, I'm gonna make the brush a little bit smaller like that to make it good size, like that, for erasing the northern lights on the tree here. And I'm gonna take the opacity down a little bit because I don't want it to look fake. Just like that. So all I do here is actually, I'm just playing around with 2 layers, and it's really simple. It's and the thing that is good with Photoshop, if you made a mistake, like if you would just oops like that, you can always go back here in history and erase it. So that's good. I'm going to take the opacity down even more now, just to go out here. And I'm going to make the brush maybe a little bit bigger. Okay, so you can, maybe sometimes you just have to do with the opacity on the brush to just make it looks really smooth. You want to make it look as natural as possible. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop there with erasing. So right now it was from there to there. Okay, and now I will just add some contrast, or maybe I will first go into the color balance of this layer of the Northern Lights, because I would like to add a little bit more purple maybe, because Northern Lights can be purple sometimes. These are really good tools for using Northern Lights. Okay, and then I will just add some contrast to it to make it pop a little bit more. Maybe like that. Someone asks if I have ever asked someone else to take photos on me, and well, yes, that have happened, but not on photos that I maybe just on daily photos. But when I take photos, I always want to be alone, and that's you know, I feel almost ashamed if someone's seeing me with a camera. I have no idea. There's so many times I've been out, you know, taking photos in the village, and I think I'm alone, and then suddenly a neighbor comes with a dog or something, and I just run away and hide because I don't want anyone to see me taking photos, and I have no idea why. Especially if I take photos on myself, I definitely want to be alone. But that's, I mean, I live in a good place for being alone, because out in the forest, I never meet anyone. I'm totally alone. I have all these woods to myself, so that's good. I can play around and be just as crazy as I want to be. And the funny thing is that I also don't like when people look at how I edit my photos. Well, don't. I mean, I like that you do that right now. But if I, for example, have to be on a bus or a train and I have to work, and I put up my computer, and then I see that other people can see what I do when I work my photos, I can't do it. That's so funny. But right now I have like hundreds of people watching me editing, but now it just feels great. I'm so happy that you are watching me. Yes, exactly. I get stressed out if someone looks over my shoulder. Okay, so what do you think of this picture? Maybe I think it's quite done now. I mean, maybe I would just... when I'm done with having a lot of layers like this... thank you for your applause. Oh my god, you make me so happy. Okay. When I'm done with the layers, I just have 2 layers here. I'm gonna go and layer, and then I'm gonna flatten image. So all the layers just gonna flat into one. And then I can edit the whole photo together. So maybe I just want to add some more contrast to this one. Oh. I'm so glad you want to hang out with me. I could do this all night, I feel like. Okay, I think I'm done with this one. Yes. Oh, someone asked a really good question. Do you have a vision, dream of a photo that you would like to post but haven't yet? And yes, I actually have a dream photo, because my biggest inspiration it's not a photographer, but his name was John Bauer, is a Swedish illustrator. He's not alive anymore, but he made wonderful drawings of the Swedish forests. It's very magical. And he has a photo where this little princess is riding on a moose. And I've been inspired by him on many photos, and that photo I haven't taken yet. But I have actually asked a moose farm here in Sweden, asked if I could come there and ride on one of their moose, but they never answered me. So I guess I will have to find a moose, a wild one, because someday I'm gonna take that photo. I just have to. But okay, I'm done with this picture. The thing is that I was actually going to, I was going to do another photo as well if I had time to. I was going to do, wait, this ones I'm going to show you. But the thing is that we have time, both because we had some technical struggle, but also because I maybe talk too much. I was going to show you how to do this one with layers in Photoshop, but I feel that my computer is a little bit slow right now and that it will take too much time to do it. So I'm going to wait with that and hopefully have a new webinar very soon, because this one is really, really easy to do. Just think of the layers I did with this previous photo. I just put up different photos. It's this one photo of me by the lake and one photo of clouds and two photos of forests, and then it just turns into that. Okay, but I think I'm gonna switch to camera mode now and answer some of your questions, because now I've showed you 3 photos, and I hope you feel happy with that. I wish I had hundreds of more hours. Yeah, we should definitely do an Adobe in Jonna part 2, I hope. All right, I'm gonna switch back now to the camera mode. All right. Can you guys see me again? I feel a bit warm because I was a bit nervous when all this technical stuff. I don't know what happened really. And I'm gonna put up your questions, and I'm gonna just have a little chat with you now and answer some questions. And okay, I'm glad you can see me. Hello, everyone. Wow, so many good questions here. Someone asked, is there any important message you want to express with your photos? And well, it depends on what photos it is, but I always felt that I want to express nature in a way. Like, I want to make people feel like they want to express the same feelings that I do in these photos. Because to me, nature is my biggest inspiration. It is, yeah, it's just the most important thing for my photography. So, and for my life, kind of, because I moved from the city to live close to nature. And so I want to express nature, and I want to make people feel like they miss nature, because today I think we have lost the connection to it, kind of. Yeah, there's so much I could talk about that subject, but I really want people to get reminded of something. Okay, I'm just gonna have some coffee. Cheers, everyone. Someone asked if I usually have a vision before I start editing my pictures, or if I just go on a feeling. And most of the time I just go on a feeling. I don't really have a clear idea before. I just go into Photoshop or Lightroom and I just play around and I see how it ends like. And I think that's important to say that, because I think many people that doesn't know so much about Lightroom and Photoshop, that many people think that you have to be a professional to use it, that you might need an education or something, but you can just use it and play around. So I really think you should use your free trial that you got in your mail. Oh, so many questions. I don't know how I'm going to choose a winner later. It's okay. Okay, I'm just going to look through here. Wow, there's really a lot of questions here. Someone asks if I have a special place where I find inspiration. And yes, I do have some different places that are really close to my home. And I have this little pond that's close to my home. It's like 5 minutes to go there. I wrote about it in a blog post a while ago. And it's like this magical, it's a little lake. We call it shan in Swedish, but I think the best word in English is pond. And the water is all green, and it's just so beautiful there. And I always go there when I need inspiration. I just sit down there by a tree, and I often bring a notebook so I can write down if I get any ideas. And someone asked, do we have a favorite time to shoot? And yes, definitely my favorite time is early in the mornings. So, well, it depends on the season, because if it's winter, I don't need to go up so early in the morning, because then the sun is rising very late. But in the summers, in like June, I have to go up. Or actually, I don't even go to bed, because the sun is rising around 3 in the night, and it sets around 12 in the night, so it's like very short time. So in the summers, I often stay up all night so I can be up when it's sunrise. I get not much sleep in June, but that's my favorite month because I take a lot of photos. Thank you so much for asking so many questions. This is so fun. Okay. How often do you go shooting? Well, it depends. Maybe 3 or 4 times a week, but it depends, because I have a blog, I read almost daily, so I shoot pictures almost every day for the blog, like daily pictures in my home and so. But when I go out in nature and take these photos that I, for example, upload on Instagram, maybe once a week, or it depends, because this winter has been terrible. It's been like a nightmare for a photographer, because it's been like raining all winter. And where I live, it's used to be very cold, and this beautiful, snowy, frosty winters. And this winter has been just a mess. So I haven't been shooting a lot last months. I mostly uploaded old photos on Instagram, because I haven't taken any photos, and I can't force it. I can't go out and force myself to take beautiful pictures. I need to feel this feeling of, I need to feel the magic in the air, and I just know when it happens. So it depends. How do you organize your photos? How do you name your folders? Well, that's actually why do I answer that question, because I'm not good at organizing. I have like 2 folders, one that I named blog pictures and one that I named big pictures. So when I edit my photos, I put these pictures both in the big pictures folder and the blog pictures folder. So I have one smaller version. And then I put the date on. Well, it's hard to explain, but actually I shouldn't even explain, because I'm bad at organizing. I have like tons of external hubs everywhere, and it's a mess. I really should take 2 weeks off and just organize everything. Okay. Let me see. Wow, so many. How do you feel outside in the nature? That's a good question. And yeah, I feel like when I'm outside, it's like I can totally be myself, and I find so much inspiration. I really need to be outside. I'm in the forest almost every day, actually, because 2 minutes and I'm in the forest, and that's lovely. And yeah, I should talk a little bit about my gear, because some people ask me what camera I have, and I have a Nikon D810, and to that I have 3 lenses. I have one 60 millimeter, and I have one 50 millimeter lens, and then I have one 70 to 120. Actually, that's a new lens, so I forgot. I just bought it. It's really good. But actually, I can answer this question on my Instagram in the next post. I can just tell you what gear I have, and I have a tripod and a remote that I use, and also I have a smaller camera where I often make. It's a Canon G7X, which I use for videos, like video blogs. But also I make videos with my big camera, my Nikon D810. Yeah, okay. I feel like it was a long time ago I spoke English. It feels like a bit hard to find the words. What I think about the 50 millimeter lens, I think it's awesome. I take a lot of photos in the 50 millimeter lens because it gets, yeah, I just love how the feeling in the photos. It's very sharp, and you can get a really good bouquet. How do you say bouquet? Oh, I get so many questions, and I have to choose a winner soon. And oh, I just wish I could choose everyone, because your questions are awesome. A funny question is, how do you ignore all the mosquitoes? And oh, you have no idea. Sometimes in the summers, there's so much mosquitoes, I can't even breathe. And many times when I've taken photos, I just have hundreds of mosquito bites all over my body. One time there was really, really bad because, yeah, I don't lie. I had like maybe 400 mosquito bites on my legs. So these these my legs just swollen up, and on the nights I was just shaking, and I had to go into the shower and just take hot water. It was crazy. So I don't really deal with the mosquito bites. I just take it, I do it for the art. Okay, you can just keep the questions coming here. Wow. You really ask wonderful questions. I could sit here all night. What made you get into photography? Well, I answered that a little bit in the beginning. It was when I moved from the city to this place in the middle of the forest. I was so inspired by nature, and I just felt that I had to express myself in some way. And the camera became my way of expressing myself. I had to show the world the beauty here. So that's how I got into it. Yeah. Just reading your comments here. Oh, this is from Michelle. She says, "Oh, do you also catch yourself sometimes looking through the camera too much instead of experiencing life's magic in real? And do we have tips balance?" Well, that's a really good question, because sometimes, I experience every beautiful moment through the camera lens. But I haven't decided if it's, I didn't do it through the camera. I'm afraid I wouldn't be there at all, because my urge to take photos and to catch all this beauty makes me be there. If I didn't love photos, and if I didn't have this passion to share the nature with the world, I guess I wouldn't be there at all. So I would miss it. So maybe I think that it's a good thing to experience it through the camera lens. But sometimes I wish I could just be there and not, fixing with my camera and trying to get a good picture. But at the same time, I love that. When I just find a beautiful scene in nature, maybe and it's just so beautiful, it takes my breath away. Then I just love to stand there and know that I get good pictures. So, well, it's hard. It's a good question, because I think of it a lot. That maybe I skipped to really experience it because I look it through the camera, but I guess I feel happy with it. Now, okay, I'm reading some more questions here. Thank you again for asking so many questions. Someone asks, well, it was a Swedish. If I ever feel like I've taken all the pictures that I've ever that is possible, and what do I do if I lose the inspiration? And actually, I live 6 and I haven't traveled much. I've been photographing this place for 6 years, and sometimes I think it's crazy that I still find, new photos. But actually, it feels like every year is new, because every season is new to me. No year is like the other year. But I do find new inspiration, even though I take photos the same places so often. And that's good. Actually, I almost feel like the longer I live here, the more beauty I find. And if I lose motivation, there's nothing really I can do about it. Most of the time, I just go out in nature and try to find more inspiration. And if I can't, then I just try to get out inspiration. You can force that. Okay, so I'm gonna choose a winner now. And I'm just gonna look at through your wonderful questions. I wish I could choose one, because you really deserve to. Okay, I see it's lagging a little bit. I hope you can hear me. Yeah, it's hard to do. I wish we had some music here. I often have one favorite, just great question, but I just want to know something. I think there's so many good questions. Yeah, I can see that it's lagging a little bit. I okay. I think I'm gonna choose a winner that I had heard question, but I think it was a good one. It's Michelle, Daughter of the Woods. congratulations, Michelle. You win the Adobe Creative Cloud subscription for 12 months. And your question was, do you also catch yourself sometimes looking through the camera too much instead of experiencing life's magic in real? And do you have any tips to find a good balance? I think we all photographers that feeling, and we all think of that sometimes. So that was a really good. And thank you everyone for your questions. I wish everyone could win. It's been amazing to spend time with you tonight. I'm so happy that you joined me, and even though we had some technical problems, we managed to do this. We had so much fun. I could sit here for 5 more hours with no problem. So, oh, for your sweet comments. This is amazing. Yay, congratulations, Michelle, everybody. I'm so glad that everyone is so happy, even though we didn't win. That's really nice. All right, so I'm gonna say bye to you now, and again, thank you for watching. And if you have questions, you could message me on Facebook or Instagram, and I will try to answer. So I hope you have a good day or good night, whatever time zone you're in. Thank you so much for watching me. All right. Oh, lots of hugs to you. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.